My parents died without a will, and as an only child, I received everything, but my girlfriend wants me to give half of it to my parents' foster kid. I recently lost my parents in a tragic and unexpected accident, and I'm still trying to wrap my head around everything that's happened. My parents were fairly well off, owning a couple of properties and having investments, but they didn't leave a will. So, as their only biological child, everything is legally coming to me once the solicitors sort out the estate. My parents fostered a boy, Ben, since he was 5. Ben has been part of the family for over a decade, and my parents treated him like their own son. But since he was never adopted or made a legal heir, he's not entitled to any of the inheritance. Ben isn't being left completely out in the cold, though. As a looked-after child, he has an ISA set up in his name by the government, which I understand the government contributes to. My parents also put money into it each year. I don't have access to the exact numbers yet because the solicitors are still managing everything, but from what I remember, it was around 8-9K per year. This means Ben will have a decent amount of money when he turns 18, plus whatever support he gets from social services. Here's where it gets complicated. My girlfriend has gotten quite close to Ben over the years and thinks I should share the inheritance with him. She argues that Ben has now lost 2 sets of parents, his biological ones and now my parents, and that it would be the right thing to do. She feels that Ben deserves something more than just his ISA, especially since my parents considered him their son. I understand where she's coming from, and I feel for Ben. Losing my parents has been devastating, and I can't imagine what it's like for him to lose another set of parental figures. But at the same time, I'm not sure it's fair to expect me to give up a portion of my inheritance. This money could help secure my future, and enable me to buy a home, invest, or start a family. I don't have access to the inheritance yet, but it will legally belong to me when everything is finalized. I'm torn between what I'm being told is the right thing and what I feel is fair. I've always been polite with Ben, but we never really bonded, especially since I was already an adult living away when he came into the family. Update. First, I want to clarify something that I've been thinking about a lot. My parents were amazing people, and they took Ben in because they wanted to give him a stable, loving home. Even though they didn't adopt him, they treated him as their son. So, I've been asking myself, if they were here, what would they want me to do? I had a long talk with my girlfriend, who's been a rock through all this. She's been a lot more involved with Ben and helped me see things from a different perspective. I also spoke to the solicitors to get a clearer picture of what my parents had set up for Ben through his ISA and other resources. After all this, I've decided to continue contributing to Ben's ISA until he turns 18, just like my parents did. But more importantly, I've also set aside a portion of the inheritance in a trust for him. This isn't about giving away half of everything or feeling pressured. It's about doing what feels right for me and, I believe, what would have been right by my parents. I know some of you suggested that I take Ben in, and while I'm not ready to go that far, I've reached out to his social worker to ensure he's getting the support he needs. I've also decided to stay more involved in his life. I realize now that this is about more than just money. It's about making sure he knows he's not alone in the world. This whole experience has made me reflect on the person I want to be. I'm not just thinking about securing my own future anymore. I'm thinking about how I can honor my parents' legacy by helping Ben build his.